Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. Today we're back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 replay cast. It's certainly been a while since I did one of these. I'm actually not sure how long. I sort of just didn't cast one for a while. I looked around a few times, but there wasn't too many replays that exactly were super enticing. But regardless, I found a good replay here now, and I actually found a couple good ones. So I'm going to try to cast as many as I can, as there's actually a upcoming patch tomorrow, which I think I might have mentioned once or twice before. It actually does sort of change weather overlays, and it sort of makes it a pain to watch older replays. So I'm going to try to get my hands on some of the newer replays on the new patch, as there's going to be lots of balance changes and stuff that'll be interesting to sort of see and try to make sense of while casting. Okay, so anyway, without further ado, spawning up in the top right hand side of the map, playing for Team Krayas, the Red Terran, it is Jason. I believe goes by JuggernautJason, streams on Twitch a fair bit, and he's one of the Canadian North American Terrans who's sort of just trying to basically just play the meta, do everything that can be done as well as he can. So his games are pretty entertaining to watch. And spawning down the bottom right hand side, I've certainly cast a few of his replays before. Playing for Root, the blue Protoss, it is puCK. So both of these players are very, very good on the North American ladder. Right now we see Jason, the Terran player, just moving out with SCV to scout. It has been a while since I cast, so I may be a little bit rusty, but I'm sure as this replay gets going, we're going to sort of get back into it. Anyway, so it is a 4-player map. It is Frost. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in my terrible introductions there, but both these players have gone for an early scout, and puCK actually got the better hand of this. He moved out with his probe scout. He saw that Jason he basically saw that Jason was going for a Reaper expand, standard Terran build, nothing crazy like a CC first, which can be done on Frost. And meanwhile, puCK is just going for a sort of gateway expand himself. So standard builds out of these two players. The spawns are vertical wise, so these are probably the most even spawns as far as it goes, and it also sort of depends how the players play. Cross spawns very good for the Protoss player if the Protoss player chooses to play defensive, as drops and things and harassment from the Terran player can be hard to do. But then that also means that the Protoss can have a hard time attacking. Anyway, we see this Reaper for Jason. He has now identified where puCK is. He finally scouted it after that unfortunate scout. So now the Reaper's just getting in, getting some scouting. On Frost, there's lots of ledges that it can jump up. It's going to move into the back here, but puCK, a great player, knows how Terran's open. He's going to have a pylon in position that he might be able to photon overcharge and kill this Reaper, and Jason knows that, so he's pulling it back. puCK, great positioning with his building placement and pylon placement, making it so that this Reaper is sort of limited in what it can do, and he might actually get the Reaper there. Jason, with his Reaper jumping up and down, trying to keep it alive there, taking 2 shots from the Adept, but not taking the 3rd to kill it. Meanwhile, Jason mining out of 2 gases right now, so no like heavy barracks play or anything like that. Playing the meta, as I said. He's going for a factory, he's going for a starport, so going to be a mine drop. Very, very old build, actually, as Terrans have been doing this pretty much since Heart of the Swarm came out. Anyway, puCK going for a robotics facility. puCK is a player who loves his robos, likely going to get out a warp prism, as he loves to do his harassment. He's going to get out an observer to deal with potential mine drops, and that's actually a great call by puCK. Not going any greedy. Not many Protoss would do fine skipping an observer. Wouldn't mind for Jason, though, not being dropped yet. Likely will be when a Medivac comes out, but for now it's just defensive against Oracles. puCK isn't a player who goes for Oracles too often, but it's always a possibility, and as a Terran player you want to sort of stay in the habit of being defensive. puCK, Twilight Council on the way. He's a player who likes to play with his Twilight Blink Stalkers, robotic space, so Warp Prism. Getting up gateways, might go for an Adept attack, could go for Resonating Glaives. We'll really see when he gets up this Twilight Council. It could always be something like DTs, but with the amount of gateways he's thrown down, actually it is just 3 right now, but he's warping in Stalkers, so it's not likely going to be DTs. He's getting out a Warp Prism right now, so that robo is being used. Not going for Immortals or anything like that. Protoss, some Protoss like to go for Immortals. puCK, he likes to get out his harassment, go for sort of pokes and prods, and he's going to be getting Blink so he can do that. Blink very good for shutting down Liberators, which is very important on this map while in this spawns, because right here at the natural base of the Protoss is such a good spot. We now see puCK in position though to sort of push away this drop that Jason's gone for. Unloaded one unlucky Marine there who is Gonna be a bit of a reminder there till he dissolves. We now see Jason just that medivac noped right out of there. He saw how much puCK warped in. And now this is sort of good, sort of bad for Jason in a way. He's not going to get any damage done. puCK's going for an aggressive attack, which sort of in par has shut down any aggression coming out of Jason. But that means that puCK's not super far ahead on the economy or anything. Both players are on 2 bases, which sort of favors the Terran player in a way, as Protoss usually likes to get up a fast 3rd Nexus if they can. You see more gateways going up for puCK, so he's definitely going to be going for this Blink Stalker poke here. He's got these Stalkers. puCK, a player who makes so many Stalkers, has that fancy skin. If you guys weren't aware, in one of the latest patches, they actually added skins that players can buy and equip, and it goes on ladder. Something people have requested for a long time, and we finally got it. And puCK basically now has hedgehog Stalkers in a way, sort of spiky. Anyway, so puCK got a good amount of Stalkers. Going to start poking at the front. These supply depots could be picked off, but there is a siege tank on the high ground for Jason. Observer has spotted this. puCK, smart, pulling back his Observer, doesn't want it to be sniped. Jason's actually moving out. Maybe he feels he can get a better angle here, and he does snipe the Observer. Very well done by Jason. puCK not getting that free information anymore, and he's actually going to turn around. He's got his 3rd base on the way, but Jason also has his 3rd CC on the way, so this is going to turn into a macro game here. Looking at the upgrades, Jason does have Stim done, so that's why puCK couldn't really poke in. Stimmed Bio, very good versus Blink Stalkers, and it's not like puCK's super committed to the attack there, but right now, just the way the macro is going, this game is definitely in Jason's favor. So puCK knows that he can't stay on these Blink Stalkers. He's going to start transitioning. Loves Disruptors, does puCK, so he's getting out of Robotics Bay, but some Protoss have been going for Colossus as just mixing in 1 or 2, maybe with some other higher tech units, is very effective, as it can force Terrans to go Vikings, or then it just leaves them to be very effective. Though puCK is warping in more Stalkers, and he's looking to poke around, and this could actually be very huge for puCK here. Jason's a bit out of position. He's just moving out, but puCK's moving in. He might be able to pick off the CC here, and I bet he's even going to blink it to the main after this. Jason's coming in, though, and he does sort of take a good angle there. The siege tanks are going to push it away. One Stalker actually tried to blink away, and he ended up caught between a supply depot, so he was killed there. But puCK is certainly pressuring still. I guess he decides that while he macros up, he's got his Robotics Bay finished, so he can start making Disruptors and things. He's got a Forge on the way. Neither players are getting attack or defense upgrades here. So both these players are just sort of content making units right now. puCK definitely going to be committing to these Disruptors. 2nd Robo finishing up. He's saturating his 3rd base while these Stalkers have been poking Jason. But Jason, he's built up 3 siege tanks. He's continuing. Well, he's not making any more. He's switched over to mines, so I guess he's decided 3 is enough to deal with these Blink Stalkers. But now puCK, great move here, actually picking off a good amount of bio there. A few Marauders, a Marine, and I don't think a Medivac there, but any damage that you get done is very good. Okay, there we go. I'm just trying to remember the hotkeys here. So yeah, a few Marauders and Marines picked off here and there. puCK just poking with his Stalkers. Great microing back to his weak Stalkers, but he does lose 1 or 2. So just trading for these 2 players. These players even on supply income-wise. Jason is ahead right now, as he does have mules, and they're a very useful thing. We see the War Prism was actually picked off there by Jason. Very well done. So Jason taking sort of a great position in this game. Just by the opening, he got what he wanted, and as puCK sort of played aggressive, which isn't the best on Frost, as it's still quite a distance here for this. puCK just has a lot of Blink Stalkers versus Bio, so it's going to be really up for these Disruptors to pull their weight, to sort of pick away Jason. Jason just making mines, getting 1-1 for his Bio, so he will have an upgrade advantage to Stalkers. This is a lot of Stalkers for puCK, but he's bleeding them out. They're very weak. Sort of being pushed back. He's got a pylon up to the top left. I guess this is thinking for the very, very late game. He might be going for a Dark Shrine or something, or maybe he was planning on going for a Dark Shrine or Stargate, but then changed his mind, possibly a hidden Nexus. We'll see. For now, though, we see a massive fight going down. Great Disruptor shots going out for puCK. Stalkers blinked forward very boldly there and actually took a great trade versus Jason. Jason, though, still ahead in supply. He's got lots of bio coming down here, and that's really the only reason why puCK seemingly won that fight, was because not all of Jason's army was there, but now it saw all added up here, so it's going to make it much more difficult for puCK to take a great fight. There is 4 disruptors, so lots of purification nodes can go out, and here goes one right now. Jason's either going to need to split or run away. He chooses to run away, loses only 1 or 2 units. Another disruptor shot, cleaning up the mines here. Jason trying to run away yet again, going for a bit of a split there, but his bio is over-stimmed here. Another disruptor shot goes down. Not connecting with anything there, though. puCK just throwing out these disruptor shots. Yet another. Jason thought that he might have finally blown them all out. No, another one comes in for puCK. He's now up to 6 by the looks of things. puCK, great dodge, dodging Widow Mine there. Upgrades are in the favor of Jason, but as I've said multiple times, disruptors do not give a damn about upgrades, and that's one of the great things about the units. puCK, great control there with this disruptor, picking off another Widow Mine. 2 more disruptor shots go. It might be a little over eager there with those 2, but he does have a lot more, as he's got a good amount of disruptors, so he can keep throwing them out. Jason's in a bit of a tough situation. He starts +1 armor, +1 attack now on the way there as well, so trying to keep that upgrade advantage going. He's floating over a 4th CC, so Jason's actually still in quite a good situation, all things considered. puCK's going for a hidden nexus. He decided apparently not the top left, but the bottom left instead. And Jason's pushing, but he always has to be paying attention to this army. Very stressful, I assume, for both of these players. As if puCK's not paying attention, Jason can jump on top of his army. Massive disruptor shot, though, comes down, picks off a large clump of that bio. Of course, the Terran player can always try to lift up inside the medivacs. Lots of Widow Mine connections there. The disruptors connecting with some more of the bio. Blink Stalker's blinking forward, but this bio is so strong, so now it's getting sort of a straight up fight with these Stalkers. puCK pulling forward. Disruptors were not there, but another disruptor comes from the right, gets a massive connection. Jason tried to pick it off, but couldn't, and now he's being forced back. His mines are still out in the field there, so puCK can't exactly push forward, but that was a great trade for puCK overall, considering the circumstances. Okay, let's see. We have a planetary on the way. Jason securing his 4th base. puCK, it's going to be a bit, he's going to be behind on the income a little bit here. And he's actually throwing up cannons at this hidden base, I guess, in case it ever does get discovered, so it can't be dropped. 2-2, a bit ahead for puCK there. For Jason, we see full saturation for Jason. And as I was saying, it's going to be hard for puCK to saturate his quote-unquote 4th base because it's all the way over here. But nope, never mind. puCK simply uses his mothership core, recalls probes, and that's how he's going to do it. Probes won't be caught moving across the map now. And once again, Jason is being sort of forced to react to these disruptors from puCK. He's trying to sim forward, trying to get them, but when there's this many disruptors, they can be very hard to split against. Darkshine on the way for puCK, so he's wanting to sort of capitalize on this while keeping Jason busy. He's going to be going for some other harassment. And now we see the army supply is ahead for puCK right now, and the disruptor count is very high. 2 Widow Mines, though, were not noticed by puCK. Jason thought, or puCK might have thought that he had cleaned them up, but he did not. Jason trying to take the best spread that he can, but another disruptor comes in, gets a massive connection on a large portion of the bio. Good splits, though, from Jason, taking the best sort of concave he can, but he's still bleeding out units here, and he's got a decent amount of supply, but most of it's in medivacs. Not sure what that's about there, but puCK can't push in anymore right now, as there is the planetary. Stalker's not good versus planetaries. Disruptor's not really either, as they don't do too much damage versus buildings. Jason trying to sort of get his forces all together, but he needs to stay back next to this planetary. If you look at the supplies, Jason's in a lot worse situation than it seems, because these medivacs, how many medivacs does he has? He has 11. That's almost 1 per Marauder, but these disruptors are still picking away. puCK not producing any more disruptors. Well, now he actually is, but the number isn't growing too much for him. He's now got +3 armor on the way. Both players are on 2-2 upgrades right now. Mining being denied by puCK. This 4th base was actually being mined very important to Jason, as his 3rd base is starting to mine out. His natural is beginning to mine out. That 1 Widow Mine's been there since the start of the game, and now we see this is a good move from Jason, I feel. He's going for a drop, and he's actually going to cancel what is puCK's actual, I guess, technical 4th base, besides his hidden expansion. So very well done by Jason, trying to get some damage. They're forcing puCK to pull back here. puCK's now the player that's reacting, but all he's going to get is this 1 poor Marine here that was here to sort of try and get. Anyway, we now see Jason finally doing something with some of those medivacs, pulling the rest back, sending in 3 for a drop here right now. Those Stalkers are warping in for puCK. puCK's just sticking with the style. Cannons were set up, but Jason's just going right by him, and this could be a great move for Jason. He's unloading into the main base. There's the Forge, which is exposed, so this is going to allow Jason to get an upgrade advantage. There goes that. DT, though, is warped in to clean it up. Jason is in view of this Dark Shrine, but he scans, he sees the DTs. He's going to be able to possibly clean some. Mass Disruptor shots go out to try and pick off this Planetary Fortress. SCVs tried to repair, but they couldn't clutch it. puCK shot almost all of his Disruptor shots there, though. So Jason, this might be the best time for him to fight, but he needs to pull back now. DT is going to kill the third CC there. That is a big blow when it seems to be heading towards a base trade. puCK's main base is sort of being ravaged right now. There's 3 DTs that Jason does need to pick off if he's paying attention, as his scans are going to be limited. He's only got 2 CCs, so it seems he only has 1 scan to try and deal with this. SCVs, Marauders, Mines are all trying to deal with this army before puCK. Has traded off a lot of the Stalkers are weak, but there's still all these scary Disruptors. 3-3 is going to be finishing up for Jason, but he's still losing units to these Disruptors right now. 2 Marauders at the front, and a handful more bio is going to try and surround puCK here, and this could actually be a great fight for Jason. He's moving in, he's getting a great surround. puCK throwing out Disruptor shots every which way, but Jason's simply hoping that he has enough bio to sort of deal with these Disruptor shots, managing to pick off a few more Disruptors before they get their shots off. We see Jason still dropping puCK's main base, so puCK has lost a lot of his tech right now, and puCK is down in army supply a very significant amount. He's ahead in workers. He's started another Nexus, and he's sort of rebuilding his base over to the bottom left. Jason's lost all his medivacs, either that or he flew them home. I believe they're on their way home, sort of abandoning the bio right now. One Stalker pushing them away. So this bio is sort of left into the main base, going to be cleaning up a few unpowered gateways. This bio is all very red. But now Jason's moving in. He thinks he's possibly got this game. He's going to try and harass as much as he can. Jason, bold move, lifted off one of his CCs. He's now down to 2, so he has very limited detection right now. And it actually seems that puCK's running these 2 DTs into his main base, so Jason's mining is basically all going to be compromised right now. He's hardly got an income just from long distance mining. He can't land this CC because of the DT that's there. So it's really up to Jason to try and win this game. Oh my god, that is the mother of all drops there. So he's going to try to win this game with what he has, but he doesn't have too much production. These DTs are going to rain carnage. There's one Widowmine. I assume Jason's going to scan. Yeah, this Widowmine is going to kill off that one DT, but another's coming down. Trying to finish this missile turret is Jason, but this DT is going to get to work on it. Look at this. The scan wears off, but the missile turret finishes. It's up to this one Marine and few SCVs to try and kill this DT. The SCVs are just being picked off right now. We see Jason dropping into puCK's base. Photon overcharges, probes being pulled, Stalkers, Zealots, all trying to sandwich this army adjacent. Jason has a scary high army supply, but as before, a lot of it's in the medivacs right now. But it seems that he may just have enough to compromise puCK's final base. puCK's not really mining anymore. He doesn't have any more production, and that could be the nail in the coffin. There is, however, still... Actually, this one DT has got to be the playmaker. There's another one somewhere at the third base. puCK could do with bringing that over if he is going to try and play this one out, but it seems that Jason's found himself in a very good position. Just found puCK's extra base. puCK got a bit of money, trying to expand once again. He's got a few probes left around, so he's going to try to do what he can. Stalker killing a Marine. Every unit matters right now, but puCK's in a very tough situation. This one DT, he's got his work cut out for him right now. He did manage to kill off that missile turret. So Jason doesn't have too much mining right now. He's just floating CCs around. He's killing off another Nexus of puCK, though. Leaving one Marauder to do that, actually. And then he's moving across. Wants to make sure that puCK doesn't have any other bases, and it seems that Jason is heading straight towards this one extra Nexus of puCK. puCK, he does have sort of his natural still alive. He's got cannons, a Robobay, just trying to make anything he can. He actually has 2 Disruptors. These could be a huge playmaker. I guess he was busy making those while all the base trade carnage, but he seems he's going to unload directly on top of these Disruptors, but picks back up. The 2 Disruptors have now wasted their shots, so it's really up to this one Immortal and Adept to pull their weight, unless Jason gives puCK enough time for these shots to recharge. Halfway done there, this is really important. Jason's moving in. These Disruptors are being pulled back. There's one Immortal retreating to the cannons, probes pulled forward, but the Immortal is picked off. So now puCK he's sort of trapped at his natural here. These Disruptors can try to buy all the time they can. This one DT is actually going to be huge. puCK pulled this DT back, and now it can sort of force Jason to continuously lift off. Very well done by puCK, trying to stay in this game, but he doesn't have any mining. That one DT is scanned as Jason landed one of his CCs over to the top. Disruptor shot, great connection there. Jason's now dropping in supply. It's only this handful of bio that's left here. 4 Marauders, 4 Marines, 15 medivacs. That is quite a ratio. We now see Jason's continuously trying to poke us. puCK's sort of the player with some production. He's starting to pick off probes here. Gets one of the Disruptors and is now trying to pull away, picking off probes. puCK Probes aren't the end of the world. Another just Immortal pops out there. That's actually massive right there. Immortals can be very effective versus the few Marauders here right now. Probes are being picked off though, and it seems that puCK may be in for it. It's now to this one Immortal, really. The Disruptor doesn't have another shot right now, and Jason is going to get right on top of that. He did have that upgrade advantage, and he gets it. And GG is called as Jason takes the game. That was absolutely insane. First cast in a while, and what a great game there. Jason finished that game with 15 Medivacs, 2 Marauders, and 7 Marines. puCK, not much else that's left. That was a base trade. Those two players just tried to do the best that they could to win the game, but it was both players essentially had nothing at the end, and it just came down to that final battle, which sort of went Jason's way. Anyway, if you guys have enjoyed the cast, feel free to let me know. If you want to see more, let me know, and I certainly will try to keep doing more casts every now and then. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you next time.